people? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. As always, people, make sure that you lot are smashing up the likes, man. Roll to 10K. We just hit 9.1 people. You know what I mean? We're not far from it. And we've got Ryan. You know, when we've got Ryan in the channel from Talking Seagulls and that, it means that the Seagulls are in town again. Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm hoping for another W at the bridge this time round. But what are you saying, first of all, Ryan, man? You good?
Yeah, mate, I'm okay. Been a day, but Talk Seagulls is back in the building. I think it's a weird one with Chelsea. I seem to do these every 2 months, just talking about either a player leaving or a staff member. There's talk of you getting David Weir now. I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah.
So it's just been like, yeah, constant. I feel like I'm just a part of Chelsea at this point. I might as well just be signed for you. I mean, I wonder if Todd Bowley would pay double my wages for what I'm doing. I'll just sign for Chelsea at this rate.
No, you might as well, man. Who was it that said we're your favorite customer?
Oh, mate, that was our CEO, which did not go down very well in the Brighton fan base at all. It's just such a bad quote.
True.
Yeah, that's the sad reality. It's true, but it's like, where's the direction? If that's what the club is, we're just your best customer. All right, so we're constantly this mid-table side that's just going to feed Chelsea whatever player they want from us in the future. I think that's sort of how it got received. It thought, where's the ambition on our end then? Where's the money going to go? We're just going to constantly stack it up and invest it into another player to sell to you? Is that what it is? But yeah, I don't think it was not well received, if I'm honest here.
No, I hear that, but then the reality is there's a food chain, man. It's the Prem. You have to be realistic. You know what I mean? So when you find the Caicedos, you know eventually you're gonna want to flip them, and ultimately it helps your club maintain your Premier League, status, bro. Because when you're finding these players for nothing, and then you're able to sell them on for a lot of money and rebuild your team, it means that you're not going down. And one thing about Brighton, your recruitment is good. So
yeah,
you've been able to stabilize yourself as a Premier League club, man.
I think that's a nice point, but I think it's now become a really big talking point across fan base and also people that are starting to see through it a little bit. I mean, I would argue that the majority of the players that we've actually replaced with the players that we've sold to you are significantly worse off. I don't think that we're actually signing the wonder kids that everyone thinks we are, if that makes sense. Like it was at that point in time, that was true. But the next batch, in the next 2 to 3 years, I don't think that the replacements that we bought in for these players will look as good. I mean, I reckon when everyone catches up, everyone will be like, what happened to Brighton? They used to have this. I feel like that's the position we're in now. Because with Sam Jules, the one I told you last time,
Chelsea. Yep.
Yeah, he's so underrated, and he was a big part of a lot of them players coming in. But notice how he's taken now Facundo. He's looking at Julio. These are like the wonder kids that are meant to be next in line for us that aren't quite broken out yet. He's just cutting the corner and saying, "No, just gonna have him here." So I don't want to say it too soon because obviously we're only 5 games into the season, but it does feel a little bit like off the pitch. I think there's a big restructure going on again. As we saw with David Weir, because I don't think that we're in as good of a position as we were, if you put it that way.
That's fair enough. Who are you referring to? Like Baleba, obviously we'll speak about him in a sec because he hasn't really had a great start. Like I haven't watched a lot of your 90-minute games, but I've been seeing him coming off at half time. I've been seeing him getting cooked on the timeline and that. So we'll talk about him. Who are you referring to? Like the Balebas, the Encisos, these sort of guys?
I don't think Baleba's one. Baleba was still part of the old recruitment. If you think we signed him 2 years ago, so he's one of the good ones. I don't want to put names on yet because I feel bad on the players they brought in. It's not their fault ultimately, and I don't want to dig a hole for them. And I should know better than to do that because I know that some creators like to just say names and then get them in trouble, and I don't like to do that. I like to just back whoever's out there because ultimately, I say it's not their fault. But I would just say, keep an eye on how Brighton's next couple of years goes. Because I think that you could gradually see just a little bit of a drop off. Maybe I think you've definitely seen it so far this season on and off the pitch.
100%, man. And listen, for you, obviously we spoke before the game. We spoke the other day, in fact, on Wednesday, and you were saying how you're not really confident right now. You said that Brighton aren't really playing well, and you've got problems with your manager. Last season we spoke about it again. You said you've got problems with Herzler as well. And this time around, for me, I've got a few problems with what's going on with Maresca. And we've been hit with so many injuries. You asked me, you were saying earlier, oh mate, we can go live a bit earlier, and that I said, listen, let's wait for the presser because Chelsea are just riddled with injuries. We could talk for 45 minutes about this guy playing and that guy starting, then before you know it, he's not available, right? Fofana's not available for this game. Tossin's not available for this game. Palmer's not available for this game. I think we've got the second most injuries already, Ryan, bro. So like, I'm not feeling that confident myself. But for you, bro, how's your season been so far? Because you dropped points against Spurs last week after winning yours in a 2-0 lead, bro. What happened?
Oh, it was poor. Just to touch on your Chelsea point, actually, that's given me a bit more confidence than I first had this morning after seeing your press conference. Put it that way. But yeah, our first sort of few games. I mean, we've won 6-0 both times in the Carabao Cup. Those are the good things. We've beaten Barnsley and Oxford, though, so you need to have a bit of context with it. I think in the Premier League, it's been quite a wake up call. I think for a lot of fans, that Spurs game, it never really felt like, even when we were 2-0 up, that we were actually going to hold on to that, if that makes sense. It was sort of like, well, how long is this going to last? And when I know it was a bit of an unlucky goal in how it came about, but it just didn't feel like, oh, that's a shame. It's just that my first reaction in the ground was, you just knew that was going to happen. It was a matter of time as to how long it was going to be until it happened. And I
was
think
an own goal as well. It was
so unlucky. Yeah, it was an unfortunate one. But it doesn't change. For me, it doesn't change the momentum of the game. It doesn't change the game management of the game and how the goal came about in the first place. And sort of just not even tactically, when you just think about it as a fan and you're watching the game, the general feeling you get, the gut feeling was, is this really, like, even if we were on top in a moment, you're thinking, I still worry that this could go the other way. And I think that was that level of confidence, maybe the expectation. You want a bit of arrogance, don't you? When you're 2-0 up, you want to just think, you're going to catch us. And I don't think we've had that we've dropped 28 points from leading positions now under Hertzler in the Premier League. So that's a lot. That's 6 already this season, 22 last season.
I'm seeing you've got minus. I didn't even check this. I haven't been checking the table much because it's quite early. But I'm seeing your 14th minus 2 goal difference. You're sitting on 5 points. So what? 1 win, 2 losses, 2 draws.
Yeah, the draws were bad timing. I think the Fulham one was similar to the Tottenham game. That was last second. But again, you just sort of felt that bottle, that mentality. Can you hold out a lead? And again, you sort of just fall right at the last hurdle. The City game was a complete change, where we won that game in the second half. For about 65 minutes, we were awful. But then we got a penalty and we sort of just had a bit too much momentum for them. I think the quality of players we brought on killed them.
You were good. I watched that game. You were good in that game, to be fair. Especially that second half.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But you want to see it for more than 20 minutes against City when it's a big team coming to the Amex. You got a bit more, atmosphere and you want to beat them. And everyone wants to laugh at Haaland and stuff, which is fine. But you want to do that then against Fulham. You want to then do that against Bournemouth. We went to Bournemouth, and to be honest, we didn't really have too much of a kick in the game. It didn't really feel like. I mean, I did go, and it's the good fortunate thing about Bournemouth away is you get a nice view of the pitch. And it just felt like Bournemouth they just had to rough and tumble us a bit. They went man for man. They gave us a bit of a hard time second half. They put a few challenges in, and all of a sudden we looked a bit scared. We thought, oh God, we felt inferior. And that inferiority complex that I think we've had this season has been a bit worrying. But to counter that, I do think against Chelsea, we'll probably change our game a bit. I expect us to raise our game because just naturally the sort of history we've had recently with us two.
No, 100%, man. 100%. If you remember last year, bro, 4-2. I can't really praise you for the goals that you scored because Sanchez gifted you 2 goals. If you remember the first goal that you scored, Sanchez just jumps in the box for no reason and tries to punch the ball and just misses it. Yeah, Superman completely misses the ball. His head was gone in that game as well because he was getting booed by the Brighton fans. So he was
having a hard time that day.
You were there, innit? You were at the game.
Yeah. I was literally right behind the goal. I'm not going to say what the chants were at him the whole way through, but he was getting a hard time. I mean, he would have heard every single word of it. And he did give it to us at the end when you won, to say. He probably turned around at us, and obviously that invited a bit more. But Sanchez, mate, he did it again, didn't he? That red card.
Mate, he's honestly just he's a confused character. He's such an intriguing, intriguing person to analyze because he honestly, Ryan, when he's like not having his Bozo moments, he's actually a good keeper, right?
Yeah,
and people in my fan base have been, what I mean? His shot stop is actually good. Like he's one of the best in the league, bro. Like he's a good shot stopper. I know he's not great with his feet. That's why for me, I still want an upgrade on the guy, right? But it's just the mentality of the bozo moments, the decision making. These are the little intangibles that are part of the game, right? Going in the way that he did the other day, a smarter guy would say, do you know what? Let me just hold my line there. Let me make myself a bit bigger. If Mbeumo runs into me, that won't be a foul. Like, it won't be a red card, if anything, because he's running to me. Or if I let him run past me and score, there's 85 minutes left of the game, right? But I was there, Ryan, and I'm sitting there in the fucking away end, yeah, Old Trafford, and I'm scratching my head thinking, yo, I've actually traveled nearly 4 hours and the game's done, right? Yeah. We've lost the game in 5 minutes.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
First 5 minutes. Esteval comes off. Yeah. You had what's his name? Pedro Neto came off. We had nobody up top. João Pedro, we'll talk about it in a sec, right? Because he had a good start to his time at Chelsea. He was literally playing up top by himself. And that was all because of the decision that he made, right? Now, it's not all on him because the defending at the start of the game was poor. But this is just one of many examples of him fucking about. And that's why for me, when people are like, oh, you keep defending Sanchez, I'm like, I call it as I see it, Ryan. If he's had a good game, I'll say he's had a good game. If he's been shit, I will cook him, right? I'm not someone that just kind of, as much as I don't want him at the club, I'm not gonna lie on his performances because he's actually been quite good for us for quite a while. It's just the other day, you know what? That's all people are gonna remember, especially rivals. I don't watch every game. They're gonna remember the bad. They're not gonna remember the good. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about this guy. I still want him moved on, and I'm praying that he has his head switched on Saturday, bro. Like tomorrow, I'm praying because we need to win this game. You know what I mean? We're under a lot of pressure already, and like you said, our injuries right now, bro, they're picking up, man. What have you thought about Chelsea's start to the season? Because it's been a bit underwhelming for me.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I've not really watched you as much. I watched you throughout the Club World Cup. And whenever you've been on, I've not been at the home because I've probably been coming back from a game. So I've just not been watching them. But from what I've definitely heard from Chelsea fans, and a lot of my family are Chelsea fans, which is kind of weird. And they would say to me, I've got my cousin's a Chelsea fan. So he goes to Stamford Bridge, but then my side of the family is all Brighton. So like, I'm not that far from Chelsea, to be honest.
No, you're not. Yeah.
If it wasn't for Brighton being half an hour away, an hour up the road is Chelsea. So, you know, I'm like halfway between that way, like that, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, I think Chelsea, I don't know what to make of you because I actually thought your recruitment's been all right. Maybe you've been unlucky with injuries. I thought Maresca actually held a good account of himself in that Club World Cup. And I thought, okay, you're going into this season. I said that you could be top 3 candidates, and I thought you would be really up this season. As I said, I gave you credit for the João Pedro signing. I thought that I couldn't ever see that flopping, and I don't think he will. But I guess when you've still got that instability at the back, it doesn't bode well for the rest of the team. I guess Maresca is still quite young, isn't he? And his ideas probably don't work. And if he's a possession sort of manager, all the time you've got Sanchez in goal, that's just not going to work out that well for you. But I'm intrigued to see what you think because, as I say, I don't feel like we've started the season that well. I'm surprised to hear as to how badly you think you've started the season, minus the Man United. It gives me a bit of confidence, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, listen, as a fan, naturally you get your confidence from seeing your team playing well. Because even if you get a result, you're not going to ignore what you watched. You know what I mean? I never just do result-based analysis. I might say good result, I'll take the win, but I'm concerned. I'm still not feeling confident. And that's exactly what it's been. You know, if you remember the Club World Cup, we were playing some champagne football. Even after the Club World Cup, against AC Milan, against Leverkusen when we came back, because we didn't have a pre-season. We only had 2 games before we started. Again, just it's like we never left. But then against Fulham, very slow. You know what I mean? It was slow build up. We ended up scoring a goal just before half time from, ironically, João Pedro. Second half we were better, right? We dominated them the second half for me. Against Palace, again, slow first half, poor first half. Second half a bit better. You know what I'm saying? Against Brentford, poor first half, better second half. But if you just look at the goals that we're conceding, Ryan, I'm not sure if you've seen the goals we've been conceding against Bayern Munich. Comical, bro. You know, against United, the second goal, comical. Even the first one, comical, right? You've got the goals against Brentford, bro. Yeah, last minute of the game, comical. Yeah, and these are things that I wasn't seeing last season because defensively, as a unit, as much as we've got Totten and Chalobah at the back, we improved massively, right? But then you can look at the fact that we haven't got Colwill, who now that he's gone, a lot of Chelsea fans are starting to see how important he is to us. Defensively, very, very good player, bro, defensively and on the ball as well. Because you've seen him play. You've seen how good that left foot is, how he helps us build up from the back. And I kept saying this to people that, you keep rating this guy. I'm like, bro, don't you watch how he literally gets the ball and just pings it to someone or just punches it to someone, to Enzo? We're through. And it's like, you don't see that part of the game because he's not part of the assist. But if you watch the whole move, he was a part of that build-up. You know what I mean? So we're missing that side of things. And it's a shame because he had a very good, sort of end to the season after having a good start as well. But again, ACL, bro. You know what I mean? ACL is peak, So right now, I'm looking at certain decisions that Maresca's been making. Some of the subs he's been making have been quite late. The other day against Bayern Munich, he started Reece James in the midfield. I don't like Reece in the middle. I don't want to see Reece again in the middle on Saturday, bro, because we've got Santos back now, who had a very good game against Lincoln, right? It's just at the minute, the players seem a little bit down. They feel a bit sorry for themselves. The manager seems to not trust the squad. That's again goes back to the recruitment. We haven't got it. Our centre backs right now are finished. You know what I mean? We've still got this goalie in goal. So there's so many problems which seem to be showing on the pitch. But how I'm looking at it, it's been a week of hell, right? But you can change the narrative very quickly. We've got 2 games at home. In fact, 3 games at home in the next week. Yeah. Benfica, obviously Brighton tomorrow. And then we've got Liverpool next weekend before the international break. You win all these 3 games, you bring belief back into the team. You bring belief back into the fans, right? You bring belief back into of course, the fan base and whatnot. Maresca, he'll start to get a little bit more belief because I don't know if you've seen, there's been a few whispers that he's not really happy or he could be sacked and all of these things because he keeps speaking about the recruitment. So right now, Ryan, it's been a week of hell for Chelsea fans, bro. It's actually been a week of hell, man. That's the problem with us right now. There's just a few problems that have been ongoing internally, man.
Interesting. What do you think of Maresca tactically? Actually, you say you have a bit of a bad first half, you'll be all right second half, and you'll get through it. I guess that's kind of similar to us in a weird way, where we've got too much quality to not score in certain moments. For example, Mitoma Minte this season's been unbelievable.
Yeah, he's good.
Minte himself can go win the game for you. He can go and take on an entire team as he did against Tottenham and score a goal. But that's just because he's so good and he will go on to be a great player this year. But when you've got players like that, and for example, with you guys, you've got players like now, Joao Pedro, Esteval, Cole Palmer, etc., that can just go and score a goal on their own. I think it almost paints this fake illusion as to what people see your club as and how you're actually performing. So what do you think of how you've been in the first sort of start to the season? You say you're bad at this, this, and this. Is that just sluggish? Is it bad mentality? Is it poor defensively, as you said?
It's honestly just moments, right? Like when you watch us overall, we're not really being cut open by teams. Like teams aren't really playing through us. It's more in vital moments. We're just being sloppy at the back. That's the best way to put it. We're giving away goals where it's like they're so avoidable. There's certain goals where it's like, you know what, Fez, they played through us. It was a very good goal, through ball, 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper goal. Fair enough. But some of these goals, I'm like, come on, man, like. You shouldn't be conceding that at this level. That's honestly what we've been doing this week. And that's where my optimism comes into it. Because I'm like, if you switch off those mistakes, we should be winning more games. Because last season, we finished with the 3rd best defense. You know what I mean? I know we can upgrade on our centre-backs, but our overall structure, bro, you've got Caicedo. We press well from the front. You know what I mean? Like Enzo Fernandez, whatever people think of him, this guy works. He works hard. Santos is another one that I want to be seeing starting tomorrow as well. He's very good off the ball, right? So we've got players, we've got different profiles that can help this team off the ball. But it's just, again, in key moments where these players keep switching off. But there's a player that's not switching off right now, Joao Pedro. You know what I'm saying? He's had a very good start to his time at Chelsea. And honestly, bro, this guy, he's just so good, Ryan. Like, for me, his best position is behind the striker. The striker, bro. He's honestly the type of guy that just wants to get involved in the game. He's so strong. He's tall, good in the air. He works defensively as well. What have you thought of his start at Chelsea? Because you were saying you're not going to be, you're not going to be surprised.
Mate, it just nothing that you say will shock me about him. I thought he was a superstar here, and I said he's just a superstar character. So wherever he goes, he will score big goals. He'll make it about him, which can come across arrogant, and that was a big misconception about him. But as I said at the time, these sorts of characters, these sorts of players that are just winners and they want to win, they will appear arrogant because you're not used to it. We're used to seeing players that, you know, might be a little bit passive, might not want to take it upon themselves to go and do something. And that's what separated Pedro from everybody else in Brighton for me. Mitoma's the same. He's not the same sort of character. He's quite quiet, but when it had to be Mitoma, it was always Mitoma. And I think Pedro was the same sort of player. They were on if you were to put a category list of players, it was Mitoma and Pedro, and then everybody else. As much as everyone else is good, these two are just in their own league. And Pedro, say that it goes beyond just what he does on the pitch. It's just his whole mannerism of how he plays on the pitch is a different league. And I think that's what I could see when he went to Chelsea. I thought he only needs the opportunity to do this with a big club. You know, if he can do this in the Champions League, if he's doing this at Club World Cup, if he's doing this going into the new Premier League season, it's inevitable that he'll be a good player. And it's a shame because, I mean, I've been told again today in the press conference or yesterday or whenever it was this morning, I think, that we've replaced him again. And this whole narrative of that we've replaced Joao Pedro successfully, I'm here to tell you right now, we haven't. We have not replaced him successfully at all. I don't know where this fake thing is coming from, where we're in a delusional world. It's delusion. It's complete delusion. We miss him a lot. You can notice the fact that he's not here. I love Jorginho as a footballer, but he just isn't Joao Pedro. He's not the same. He's not an out-and-out number 9. He's a brilliant player in the sort of 10 role, you would say. Maybe he can drift into half spaces, positions out wide. Maybe he can cover a 9.5, but I don't put him as a 9. There's a big difference. And I think Pedro, as you say, led the line. Whether successfully or not, he can still go and do it, and he'll be in the right positions for a goal if the opportunity came around. He's different class, and I think that's what we certainly miss. You know, for example, Caicedo, you know, your fans could going to say I'm delusional for saying we've replaced Caicedo, but that is something that I'd stand by. But despite Baleba starts the season, he's a fantastic player, and I think overall game he'll go on to be a better player than Caicedo in the future. I'm not saying he is right now.
You think that?
I think based on his profile, I think he could be. Yeah, I actually do.
I think Caicedo has more to his game though. I think Baleba's a good ball carrier, but I think Caicedo all round, passing, tackling, you know, even if you want to play him further up, he will put up more numbers. I think Caicedo's more well-rounded, I'd say, than Baleba.
I think when you see him at a different club, because it won't be here for sure, the way I'd explain Baleba is the way he could drive a ball from one end of the pitch to the other. He can make it look like nobody else is even close to his level. Like he'll make it look like men and boys. It'll look like you're playing League One opposition and you're playing as the Prem side, but he'll be doing this against big teams, and he'll just go and bully. I've never seen anyone bully opposition. Like I'm talking Rodri, for example. I've never seen someone just go through them like that. He's unbelievable when it comes to that. His shooting ability is fantastic. He can win games on his own. His passing ability is brilliant. He's an absolute powerhouse. Probably the one thing I'd say that Caicedo has that Baleba doesn't is that ability to put a strong challenge in, but that deep receiving of the ball, maybe. But then that's probably because we don't play that style of game so much with Baleba. So I've not seen it yet. So maybe you can. But again, we'll see. I'm not saying he's better than Caicedo now, but I'm saying that I think in the long run he could be. I think he'd be like the big sale is Baleba. But that's I say that about Baleba and Caicedo, whereas I wouldn't go and lie and then say we've replaced Joao Pedro. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You've got to be honest with yourself as fans. You can't just say, "Oh yeah, we're fine. We've replaced him." We have
100%, bro. You have to be real with it, man. You have to be real with it for sure, bro. But let's go through your lineup.
I do think Bruggen will start. Obviously, I know that Steele was in the cup, but he seems to fancy him, which is in itself kind of controversial. Steele has put up some good performances in the cup, but I think he will stick with Bruggen. I'm going right to left with Veltman. I know that the wrong way around, which is great. But right being Veltman, I'd be surprised if he's not in a big game like this. Could easily see him picking up a nice yellow card against Cucurella. Duncan Van Hecker, again, this is a little bit controversial on Lewis Dunk's side of the game. A lot of people think he's a bit washed up now. His age has caught up with him. I think if we're playing I think if we should be a bit more cautious, I think we should be using Dunk as what he's good for, and that's the last man, not putting him on that halfway line waiting to be countered. Kadioglu's had a really good start to the season. I've been really impressed with him. So I put him left back. I know that Hertz loves Yasin Ayari, so I would be surprised if he doesn't start him. He's really been a breakout star for us. Really been a breakout star for us. I didn't see it coming with Ayari. I thought he was a massive surprise, much like Van Hecke.
He likes to shoot. He likes to shoot, don't he?
Mate, he loves shooting. But well, he's a very composed figure. I think the only trouble with Ayari against the Chelsea is he's not the most sort of physically imposing. So maybe if you are on top of us, would say Caicedo, Fernandez even, and we are getting overrun, I could easily see Weaver coming into there to compensate. But I don't think Weaver's fit enough for a start. Baleba is, again, a bit controversial at the minute, and how I've described him a minute ago, his start to the season has been horrible to watch. His head is clearly not at the club right now, and how we sort that out, I don't know. But I don't like what I see so far, but we all know his ability. I thought the last 45 minutes that he had last week was actually quite reassuring, and in all honesty. Minte, Jorginho, Mitoma, that's probably for me the best possible combination of attackers we can put out. All speak for themselves. Minte's been unbelievable this start to the season, as I said before. And for me, Minte is not just one that plays going forward. He can get back really, really well. He could almost play a wing back role really well as well. If we switch to a 5 later in the game, Mitoma can do the same sort of thing. Without them two, this team does not go anywhere, to be honest, this season. Jorginho, I want to see a bit more of him, if I'm honest. I need to see a goal. I need to see an assist. I don't doubt him at all. I think he's a class player. But I just want to see some contributions because I think he's just not had his best start, but he's not had a poor one by any stretch. And Welbeck has had a very bad start on the contrary. He's not had a good start to the season at all. He put up probably one of the worst individual performances I've ever seen at the beginning of the season against Everton. But I wouldn't hold it against him because I think he's a legend. But I think
you call him a legend for Brighton, yeah?
I would now, yeah. I think he's definitely edging it. If he's not a legend, he's very close to it. He's our all-time top scorer in the Prem.
Is he?
Believe it or not.
How many goals?
30 something. Bear in mind, we've only been in the Premier League since 2017, so give us slack. But yeah, he's an all-round player. He does a lot more than just up front, and I think he's very underrated. But his legs catching up with him is probably the question mark.
It's not
getting
any younger,
striker available beyond him, so it's got to be him. Because we've replaced Joao Pedro so well that I don't think we've got a striker to put on in front of him apart from Stefan or Simas, who clearly isn't ready for Premier League football yet. But yeah, that's the 11 I think Hertz will go with as opposed to what I'd personally do. Maybe I'd have Weaver in there for a bit more muscle, as I said before, but overall it's a side that's more than capable of winning a game, and it should be competing higher than it is at the moment.
100%, man. And I'm looking at Minte there, bro. This is a guy who likes to run in behind. He did it literally last week against Spurs. He's getting better. You know what I mean? He's getting better by the minute. And Mitoma, we already know what Mitoma's about. Chelsea fans, you remember last year what he did to Chalobah, bruv, when we played you lot away. It was just embarrassing. You know what I mean? Welbeck loves to go against Chelsea as well. That's one thing about this guy. He absolutely loves he loves to bag against Chelsea. I'm pretty sure he's probably got like 4 goals against us, 4 goals against us.
So does Mitoma, to be honest. I mean, I remember Minte scored twice, and obviously Mitoma scored 2 goal of the season contenders. So, yeah, actually, that front 3 really do like to play against you guys, to be honest.
They do. We had Bonanotte. Ironically, he can't play, obviously, but he scored against us at the Bridge as well before. You had Enciso, who against us, Strasbourg. He scored a banger against us as well when we finished 12th. So yeah, I'm not taking this lightly, man. But I'm looking at this team. We'll go through the Chelsea lineup in a second. And yes, it's a decent team. Like there's players here that can hurt you, bro. I like Van Hecke on the ball. I like how he builds up from the back. But Bruggen is prone to mistakes. To be fair, that guy he is prone to mistakes. But overall, these guys can do something in it. You know what I mean? We just can't be conceding first against these guys because I think that will give them more confidence. Again, at the Bridge when we play Brighton, there seems to be a little bit of a thing in the air now because of the relationship that we have now. So it seems to be like a little bit of a derby. I'll be honest, Ryan. So
it does feel like it.
We need to make sure that we put out a convincing performance and get you lot the hell out of this place. Because broski, I was in Paris for the first loss, when you beat us, and then I was back at home for the other one. Remember you beat us twice in a week. League and in the FA Cup. FA Cup, you beat us the second time. Was it the League Cup?
It was. And Mitoma won it. Mitoma won it for us twice.
Twice, exactly. Mitoma
Yeah.
twice. And Mitoma's not even really a goal scorer like that. Like he's more of a facilitator. And for the fact that he scored twice in 1 week against us, we gotta be careful. We gotta be careful, man. But let's go through the Chelsea lineup. This is what I think you go with, bro. So Sanchez in goal, and then you've got a back line of Reece. I think Reece will come back into the lineup for this one. He didn't play the other day against Lincoln.
How
look
you
at
spent £2 billion. Seriously. Where did the money go?
Oh man, it's honestly a joke. You got Josh Atkinson at the back, Chalobah at the back, Cucurella, of course. You know he's been fantastic for us. Enzo and Caicedo pivot. I think he'll probably play João Pedro in the 10 because Palmer's not available. Either João Pedro or Estevao in the 10, but I reckon he'll probably go with João Pedro. I've got a strong feeling he's going to start Tyreek George up top. That's another problem that I've had recently. Not a problem against Ty because I think he's all right on the left, but he's just not a striker. Yeah, he might have scored a banger the other day in the second half, and he got an assist in the second half against Lincoln. But overall, you know, his hold-up play ain't the best up top. He's not really great with his back to goal. You know, he's just not really that comfortable up there. He's not really involved in the game much. It's easy for centre-backs to mark him out of the game. You're talking about Van Hecke and Dunk. That's food for them. Yeah, that's literally just every single time the ball will come, you just see them head it out. Every time he'll get the ball, they'll just tackle him. You know what I mean? So I don't like that, but that's what I think he's going to do just based off of what he's been doing recently. And again, that's another problem that I've got, right? So Tyreek up top, Neto on the left because he didn't start the other day, and Estevao on the right. Obviously, we've got Champions League midweek as well, but we need to make sure that we win the game. And that's where, you know, the lack of experience right now. It's the first time that he's having to manage a Champions League game as well as a Premier League game in the same week. Because before it was conference that he was managing, so it was a lot easier to rotate that whole team. Now he's having to think with bigger game, or not even bigger games, with another big game in mind. You know, that midfield could be Santos as well. It could be Enzo in the 10 with Santos and Caicedo pivot, João Pedro up top, with Estevao on the left, for example. So it could be that, but I reckon it'll probably be something like this. I just don't see him. I just don't see him starting Santos. Santos played the 90 minutes the other day. I want him to start people before people in the comments say Enzo, because Enzo's not really had a great start. I want Santos to start, but this is what I think he's gonna do. What do you think about that lineup, bro?
Interesting. I guess I'm surprised probably by the defense more than anything. But Achimpong looked quite good from when I saw him in the past, so I can't judge him too quickly. Chalobah is a decent defender. Cucurella just it depends on what mood he's in, doesn't it? Because when he's against Brighton, he either raises his game or he has an absolute howler, and you won't know until you kick off. But I would love to see Minte really take it to him and just see how many times he can give him a spin. Because if he does get the better of him, we know what Cucurella's like. He will lose his head. So
he's been good. He's been good, though, right, man. He's leveled up. Like when he first came Chelsea, I always used to say he's quite flat-footed. It's quite easy to run past him at times. But honestly, like one-on-one in the past, I'll probably say the past year and a half, 2 years now, he has been brilliant, bro. Like he's locked down Saka. He's locked down who else has he locked down on that side? Salah. Like he's locked down some top wingers, yeah, you know, on that side of things, man. So honestly, right now, Cuckoo, he's just like, even when he came on against Lincoln, he just helped the team settle down a bit. He reminds me of Aspilicueta, put it that way. Like he's reminding me of that, and the Spanish as well. Yeah.
Wow, that's a big claim. I quite like Aspilicueta. I still want to see Minte give him a spin. Reece James on the other side is interesting again. I think I actually do like Reece James, but I think Mitoma can definitely get the better of him on his day. The midfield for me is where it's tough. You know, Enzo, Caicedo, João Pedro can obviously rotate up front. That's a strong midfield. That's probably where I'll be worried, because I said to you before, we've been quite slow, quite lackluster. When you watch Baleba start to the season, if he's not interested again, I mean, if Yasin Ayari is dealing with Caicedo on his own, then I'm a bit worried. But João Pedro, we all know what he's going to try and do. We all know what he's there for. If he scores, I wouldn't be surprised to see him celebrate. just based on how it sort of went down at the end, and that's going to kill me because I've still got a bit of love for him. I've still got a Pedro thing up there, and I've got a Pedro thing up
He's
here.
definitely celebrating if he bags. He's definitely celebrating.
Mate, can I
I'm
move my
keeping him
screen?
as
Can I
an
even
FPS.
show you?
I see that. You ain't letting it go. You ain't letting it go, Ryan.
To be honest, I've just not been bothered to take it down. But yeah, it's gonna hurt, that is. But he'll be up for it. George, I don't know too much about the front three. Obviously, they're quite raw, but we'll see. Neto's an interesting one, a bit hot and cold. But Esteval's one that I want to see what he's all about, because I've heard so many promising things about him, just as a footballer in general, not because he plays for Chelsea. And I've heard massive ratings. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does. But overall, I think it's a pretty, on paper, they're somewhat even, you'd say. There's goals in both teams, but there's also definitely weaknesses in both as well.
No, 100%, man. And obviously on the ball, we go to a back three. So if James starts the game, I reckon he'll be the one that will be sort of tucking into the middle, and then you'll have Enzo going further up with João Pedro helping him in the little half spaces, with Cuckoo staying back. So what happens is when Reece tucks into the middle, Cuckoo goes to a left centre-back position. And if Cuckoo goes into the middle, then Reece will take up the right centre-back position. But like I said, we've got to be careful doing that, because on the transition, that's what Brighton like to do. They'll soak up that pressure a bit, and then 1-2 pass straight to Minte. It's the same pattern every time. Straight to Minte, straight to Mitoma. And bro, we haven't got the best defenders, best centre-backs 1v1. James is amazing 1v1. Cuckoo's amazing 1v1. But if one of them are inverting, that's going to leave so much space here, for example, for Mitoma running at Josh. So much space on this side for someone running at Chalobah. And you saw what happened when fucking Mitoma was running at Chalobah last time, you know? And what worries me right now is just that we haven't got balance at the back, man. We haven't got a left-footed centre-back right now like a Colwell. Badiashile is one that Maresca said could be in the team tomorrow, as well as Lavia. But personally, I don't see them starting because they haven't had any matches in since last season. They haven't played for so long, so I don't see them being thrown in. They might be on the bench like Lavia and Badiashile, but starting, very, very much doubt it. So you're looking at two centre-backs who are both right-footed, which isn't great. And in terms of the ball playing, like Chalobah, when he plays on the left, his ball playing is nasty because he's not comfortable there. He's not left-footed. You know, he tries to angle his body in a weird way. He can't do it. But I played football at a good level, so I know why that's happening. It's because he's not left-footed, right? And then Josh, he's more of a ball carrier. He's not really he's not really a ball playing guy like a Colwell. He's more get the ball and run with it rather than ping it in or pass it in. You know what I'm trying to say? So it'll be interesting to see in it what happens there, because Brighton, they do leave spaces in behind. They do want to come out and play. You're not gonna just want to sit back the whole game. I don't see you going to a back five for this game. Do you reckon you go to a 5 for this game, bro?
I doubt it. I really doubt it. I think if anything, sometimes we could be in a 3 in possession, but it's rare. It depends on how the game is, because it does feel a lot like we'll try and do the intensity thing, but it might last for 5 to 15 minutes. And then we'll probably try and just do the transition thing. But my genuine scare is once we concede, how will we react? If we concede first, or even if we're a goal or 2 up, how are we then going to react to it? The long-term mentality across the game is a little bit worrying for me. I want to be able to see if there's a hit, if there's a goal, if we're in the ascendancy, how are we going to combat it? I mean, tactically, I can look at that. Yeah, okay, fine. I know what they're going to try and do. But because it's such a rare occurrence of thinking, oh, we might go for a back 3 here sometimes. We might be able to let, say, Baleba push up a little bit here. But because it's just so inconsistent, you don't actually know what to expect that much. It will be interesting to see how it goes. I'll be honest. I'm quite excited for the game. If I was a neutral, I'll be excited for this game because it could be the battle of just absolute dross, right? It could be awful, but it could also be a lot of goals. Yeah,
100%. I'm glad it's at 3, man. I don't want to be in the spotlight right now. I don't want to be. I don't want to be literally. I'm telling you, bro. If we go down first, I don't know how these lot are going to bounce back. Like I said, mentally they've been on the floor. And Maresca actually mentioned last week that Caicedo and Pedro are carrying knocks right now. So let's see how they get on, man. But I need a big game from this attack. I need to be seeing some goals. I want to see a clean sheet as well. If we can keep a clean sheet with those 2 centre backs, bro, we've done well. You know what I'm saying? We've definitely done well. But let's finish off with predictions. I'll predict first, obviously, as the home side. I mean, I've not been confident with the lineups Maresca's been going with. And Marc Guiu was a guy that we bought from Barcelona. I don't know if you know much about him. He's a striker.
On loan, for like 2 days and then came back.
Yeah, he was on loan to Sunderland and he came back. He's someone that Maresca's not trusting at all right now. George is ahead of him and George ain't even a striker. So I highly doubt we're going to see him again, you know. And for me, I think he'll do really well next to João Pedro because the way he plays is very similar to how Delap plays. So you're literally replicating what Delap brings you with someone else. He might not be as good as Delap, but it's a similar sort of profile. He can actually play up top. But with this lineup, man, I mean, obviously Brighton will leave spaces in behind. I'm gonna say, do you know what? I'll say 3-1. Nah, man. These lot, see, I've lost a bit of confidence, right? I'll say 2-1 Chelsea. I'm gonna be a little bit
nervous.
Yeah, I'm nervous. I'll be honest. I'm nervous. I'll be real, man. I'll say 2-1 Chelsea. How about you, bro?
Yeah, I think there'll be goals. I actually do. I think it'll be one of them messy games where we sort of lose track of what's going on. Because tactically, I'm so there's no confidence on my end tactically. There's no confidence on my end with game management. From the evidence I've seen, the 6-0 against Barnsley was good, but it was ironic because I had a Barnsley fan DM me saying, I didn't even think we're that bad. You just scored bangers. And I said, to be honest, I probably agree with you.
Yeah, they were bangers. That guy, who was that guy that scored the hat-trick?
Diego Gomez scored 4 goals. He scored probably one of the best hat-tricks I've ever seen, to be honest.
Yeah,
from a Brighton player particularly, but ever seen in terms of any other player. But I still don't think he'll start. I think that he'll still stick with Ayari. Maybe like a 3-2, one way or the other. Obviously, I want to predict that we're going to win because you got to, haven't you? But I do worry a little bit as to if you do go a couple goals up, the crowd's on your side, our heads can drop, and I don't want that to happen. So I think if it could be either like a score draw, like a 2-2, or maybe like a 3-2 each way. But I think either way there'll be a lot of goals. Yeah,
same. I don't think the margin between both teams will be high on this team, man. I haven't really been seeing great patterns up top. That's why I'm not really predicting, a crazy amount of goals. But yeah, Ryan, listen, love for hopping on as always, bro. Let the people know where they can find you, man.
Yeah, of course. I mean, follow me on Ryan Adsit on Twitter. If you don't want to be on Twitter, actually, it's such a rubbish app these days. So you can follow me on TSR Football on Instagram. I'm sure we'll be doing plenty more of this stuff because it's January transfer window, not too far away. So follow Talk Seagulls if you want to see who you're going to sign next. But thank you for having me on. Yeah,
Van Hecke maybe. Oh, well, him and
80 million. Yeah. You have it. To be honest, I don't think Van Hecke will go to Chelsea. I actually don't. I think he's probably the one that might say no because he actually does seem to dislike you, which is quite reassuring. I think he'll. Do you know what? Put actually, don't bet. I won't say that. But if you're going to do it, gamble on Van Hecke to get a yellow card tomorrow because him against João Pedro could kick off. As he has done in the past, apparently.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that battle, man. But people, I'm gonna make sure that I put Ryan's YouTube in there as well, Talk Seagulls. I'll put the Instagram in there as well, people, and his Twitter. So make sure that you lot are subscribing, make sure that you lot are following. But let us know your thoughts in the comments, people, man. Chelsea fans, let me know how you're feeling. If there's any Brighton fans in here as well, let me know. Any rivals you want to give your take, you're more than welcome to, man. But Chelsea, please, bro. 3 points only, man. In a bit, people. Bless.
Thank you.
Love.